I'm married to an Indian, I'm married to a pakka Bihari. Love India bhi aa gayi, Hindi bhi seekh gaye.
Today I time traveled to meet myself in 20 years. Well, kinda. Her Hindi's a little better than mine is.
So he called me and I was like, oh haan, aap kaise ho? Sab badhiya chal raha hai na?
Meet Jessica Kumar from Bihar. My Chicago wali Masi who's living the Indian dream I've always wanted.
You go through that phase of feeling that Indian culture is taking over your personality. This is the Indian me and this is the American me, and they're both really me.
But crossing oceans for love and settling in Bihar isn't as dreamy as movies might lead you to believe.
In some parts of India, as you know, people don't even call you by your name. It's like Mehta Saab ki bahu or Sanjay ki mummy.
After 15 years of marriage and 2 kids, Jessica admits that no relationship is perfect.
भारत में तो मम्मी पापा हमारे दुनिया हैं, हमारे भगवान हैं. One of the main things I was looking for marrying an Indian was, does he know how to stand up to his parents? Or is it just going to be like, you need to be the one to adjust?
So if you feel like the odds are stacked against your relationship and you have to go against your parents to get married, Jessica has a great story to tell.
I don't necessarily want to make that my fight in life, to take on the gender roles in Indian society. I just want to survive and stay married. I'm like getting emotional.
Yeah, it's okay. But before we get into it, do be sure to hit subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love Handle, where we get unfiltered about love and relationships. Welcome, Jessica.
Thanks, Chandra. I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. It's so important to represent the kind of diversity of beautiful marriages that are out there, and yours is particularly unique, and that's what we'd like to unpack today. Let's take us back to before you met your husband. What space were you in, and were you like particularly looking for a partner when you met him?
So those who may be watching might know that I'm married to an Indian, I'm married to a pakka Bihari, और मतलब इंडिया भी आ गई, हिंदी भी सीख गए, तो वो मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा different चीज़ है. But I was in my mid-20s. And I had actually come to India for an internship in IT. So fell in love with India and realized that I really want to learn Hindi. I really want to engage with Indian culture. And it had nothing to do with love. It just had to do with my personal interests, ambition.
And you met in the US while you were there. Why did your friend recommend that you two might hit it off?
Because we were both interested in doing volunteer work. And immediately we liked each other. And the first time he called me, I wanted him to call me. He called me and I was like, I need to impress him with Hindi. So he called me and I was like, oh haan, aap kaise ho? Sab badhiya chal raha hai na? And he was purposely trying to confuse me too and using little complicated words. And he, I remember him saying, "Acha, tumhare parivar mein kitne bande hain?" And I was like, "Kitne bande hai?" Matlab, I thought he was saying like, "Kitne bandar hai?" Like, bandar? Kitne bandar hai mere parivar mein? Pata nahi, because I only knew like the word for log. I didn't know bande or jan and all these things, which I've later learned. So I was like, already I failed. Passed test, I guess.
We are here today. Yes. Okay, interesting. And once you did start talking, how did you evaluate your compatibility with someone, especially hailing from such a different culture with ostensibly different faiths, different value systems, right? How did you assess that, no, this is my life partner, this is the one I want to do life with?
That took some time to work out. I think I wanted to see, and he wanted to see, how willing is this person to cross barriers for me? And one of the main things that I was concerned about is, of course, you hear stories about, being from an Indian family, saas sasur bahut strict honge, ye honge, wo aapko daba denge, aapko pinjare mein band karenge, and I didn't really want that. So I was a little hesitant, like, let's see how your family is. And of course, on the other hand, he wanted to see how his family was going to accept me. One of the amazing things that happened, and this was like a divine moment, was my dad actually had a business trip to India and he had a couple extra days. He said, "Do you want me to go and meet Abhishek's parents?" They already had talked to me and I had visited his family members who are in the US. I said, if you could, that would literally set me up for life.
Right.
So my father was able to go to Bihar, meet my in-laws, meet the family, and it was literally that moment where they felt comfortable that देखो ये लोग हमारे संस्कार समझ रहे हैं. And that was one thing I think we had in common. My family inherently understood the value of getting to know each other's families.
Yes.
Getting to see what kind of, mitti you're made of.
True. You know, we perceive this massive cultural chasm. I think sometimes we over-index or overemphasize the differences while missing the similarities and realizing like we're still people at the end of the day, and you know, love is something that you can build and grow in a relationship, and you have to just make it work, right?
Yeah. No one's relationship is perfect, but you can find ways to make it work.
Yeah, make it beautiful. You mentioned your in-laws. I'd love to know about that relationship because I've observed my mom, who's American, and her mother-in-law, who's Indian, their relationship evolved in such a beautiful, strong way. And I'd love to know, how has that unfolded?
Man, my mother-in-law and I could not be more different, but I struck gold with them. ये लोग इतने समझदार हैं और इतने मुझे समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि ये लड़की एकदम अलग देश से हैं, बिल्कुल पागल की तरह करती है कभी-कभी. But they support me. I love trekking, I love being outdoors, and this is not something which people in rural Bihar, not something they would understand at all. But they've learned, इसको करने दो, इसको पसंद है तो ठीक है, हम बच्चे को रखेंगे, आप चले जाओ. They're like, we'll never understand her desire to go on trekking with her friends and stuff, but ठीक है, इसको पसंद है तो करने दो.
Yeah.
So we very much understand each other in the main things which she likes to do. और वो मेरी दुनिया को समझने की बहुत कोशिश करती है. वो लोग भी अमेरिका गए, पूरा घूम लिया अमेरिका, तो मेरे संस्कृति के बारे में ये लोग समझते हैं. They really have made an effort to try and understand. ये लोग अपनाते नहीं. They will never be American. They'll never be Western. They don't even want to be Western or try. But they're like, तुम जैसे हो, ठीक है. I really appreciate them.
Yeah, it's really wonderful that you found that.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to know how Abhishek integrated into your family as well, and what the reception was of an Indian marrying into such an American household.
Yeah. See, no one ever asked that question in the interviews. It's like, oh, how did you adjust to Indian culture? How did you? Wow, they're so lucky to have you. Well, I'm also lucky to have him, honestly, because being from the Midwest, some of my family is from a very rural area. Making the effort to understand that culture, that space, he really did that. He invested a lot of energy, time. You know, he used to bring his little chili flakes in his bag. We go to my grandparents' house. He's eating the food. He's like, "Great, dump the chili flakes, keep eating." But he ate it, right?
Yeah.
He enjoyed learning about my family, my culture, and it gives me the space to do crazy things that I want to do. Even our kids, you know, some of the things they want to learn are very backwoods, Midwestern type of activities. And he's like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's your culture too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's very fine with, you know, our kids having American roots as well as being Indian. He's like, it's not like, oh, isko tum Indian bana dena. Theek hai, Indian to hai, American bhi hai.
True. What are the qualities that you cherish the most in your partner?
He had already had some struggles with his family and their expectations. I wasn't the first bomb to go off. They realized this guy's not going to do every single thing that society expects of him. That helped a lot. By the time I came along, they're like, देखिए, ये अपना मन का मालिक है. If he's happy, वो खुश, बस खुश होना, बस इतना ही चाहिए हम लोग को. And they really imbibe that. I think one of the main things I was looking for, especially marrying an Indian, was does he know how to stand up to his parents in a respectful way? Not you don't care about me, you know, not rudely, but does he know how to engage with his parents and push back a little? In India, like sometimes it's a big sin to like go against your parents. He's done that really well in his life. वो सबको लेके चलते हैं. He's never slapping anyone and saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do, but he really tries to understand others and help others understand. I think that's really important if you're engaging in a cross-cultural relationship. Is this person going to go to bat for me, to use a very American terminology?
Yes.
Is this person going to be able to stand for me when there's a misunderstanding? Or is it just going to be like, you need to be the one to adjust?
Yeah.
Because my family's never going to change.
Right.
I think that's very important.
In many cases, the husband plays the role of the mediator between, you know, his wife and his family, and how important and integral it is for him to advocate effectively on both party's behalf to the other.
Yeah.
He's the one who needs to lubricate and to really, seamlessly integrate each other. So I think it's beautiful that he was able to do that. Tell me a little bit about gender roles, those imposed by society versus the ones that you found on your own.
That's a very tough one. I think
it is.
In the US, it looks different. And when we're in India, it looks different because there are cultural expectations that happen. And to be honest with you, I don't necessarily want to make that my fight in life, to take on the gender roles in Indian society. I just want to survive and raise my family, do my work, and stay married. So I have these ideas that I want to, take on this false narrative. Take it. And then I'm like, I just want to get my sink fixed. So sometimes I just ask Abhishek to handle certain things, which are, the man's work. And then there's times where, there's something, a financial thing, which he's like, I need your help organizing these certain files or finding these receipts. And you're really good at that. So can you please come into this wheelhouse and help me out? So there are times when we just pass the cards along. There's things that neither of us are good at, and we just, who's going to do it today and who's going to do it tomorrow?
Right. I think within your marriage, it seems like you guys have kind of figured out a balance, but what about from society or from family?
Bharat mein to mummy papa hamare duniya hai, hamare bhagwan hai. But in the US, it's like child-centered life. So we have a little balance there of who handles what and in what time. And it's a lot of pressure, to be honest. It's caring for elderly and kids and trying to maintain some kind of mental health and physical health.
And
it's a lot.
A sense of your own identity. I mean, you don't want to lose your identity to just being a mother or a daughter-in-law too. So how do you navigate that? Like, how do you retain a sense of, I am my own person and I give myself that time too?
I went through that early, I think, when my kids were younger, because even in some parts of India, as you know, people don't even call you by your name. It's like, Mehta Saab ki bahu or Sanjay ki mummy. They don't even call you your name, right? That's okay. But it's literally, it shows like how your personal individual identity is. And in India, I think sometimes that's okay. It's about relation. It's not about your individual right or personality in every moment of the day. And so some of that was okay. It's fine. You have to find those spaces where you feel that you can really shine and really be yourself. And I think Indian culture specifically really likes this whole everyone fulfills their role. There are certain roles that everyone has, and you fulfill that role. And going outside of that role too much is not encouraged. So fulfilling enough of the role to satisfy the requirements of the family, and then having my own individual hobbies, desires, things. I think you go through that phase of feeling that Indian culture is taking over your personality, right? Like in the beginning, early, your learning phases, learning years, learning the language, learning the culture, you feel that, like everyone's trying to Indianize me so much. And you come back to a point of, okay, this is the Indian me and this is the American me, and they're both really me.
That is who you are. And that's who you were before you got married too. I mean, I think being Indian was a part of you before you got married. One thing I really like about your approach is how you haven't made it your fight to like resist every time you see a patriarchal or somewhat like archaic approach. Like you're like not stressing about it, right? Because that would just take up all your energy. So sometimes you just go with the flow and realize like, I'm not the one who's going to dismantle generations and centuries of entrenched systems, and I'm just going to be happy in my family and do the best I can to also maintain my own sense of self. I really admire that.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. I think it gets tricky when you look at the next generation. We have a son and a daughter, and just seeing that some of those things are coming on my daughter, and then it is my fight. Then it is my fight to explain to her. Even the other day she said, Mama, it's not fair that women have to go through so much pain. She's 7. I'm like, oh, sweetie, you ain't even see the beginning of this.
But already picking up on it.
Yeah, women have to go through so much pain. And I said, honey, this is why it's important you find somebody that supports you and recognizes that women do have to go through a lot of pain. And somebody who's gonna let you pursue what you want to pursue, but when you're in pain, I'm like getting emotional.
Yeah, it's okay.
When you're in pain, when you're suffering, when you're going through child rearing, these horribly difficult things and beautiful things, find somebody that's gonna help you. Find somebody that's gonna be there for you when you're postpartum depression or gained
Anything,
20 kilos and who still cares about you. Says, do you want to work? Could you not want to work? I'm gonna take care of it. Find somebody like that, because you're right, it's not fair.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of guy you should look for. And she's only 7, so she has a lot of time, but
Yeah. But what an important lesson for all of us, right? Like, I think your experience is a testament to how the right choice in a life partner will really catalyze your personal and professional growth. Like, it can totally be the wind beneath your wings, or it can clip your wings entirely based on what kind of decision you make. And so many people in our audience are at the precipice of making that decision. So to make the right one can set you up for so much in the future. So how has your perception of marriage evolved over time, since the time when you set out to think, okay, I want to get married, to now after having been married for so many years?
By God's grace, we celebrated 15 years of marriage.
Congratulations.
This year. And I have to say, I never knew how difficult it would be in some ways, just how much you need to compromise on some things and things that you might have never wanted to compromise. But then in some ways, how absolutely wonderful it's been to have somebody through life, through cultures, through locations, through a lot of changes, having kids and losing family members, losing job, losing all kinds of things. Someone that's there with you, that's there to support you, that's there to understand and just be with you. You know, they call it Jivan Sati for a reason. Jo saath mein hai, Jivan mein, zindagi mein.
I'm going to throw some statements at you and I'm going to get your honest reaction. Oh, you're marrying an Indian? Your kids are going to go to school on elephants.
The time of Rudyard Kipling still exists in some villages from the Jungle Book. It's not like it doesn't exist. People who grew up in Delhi, Mumbai, they've probably never seen a kid riding an elephant. So rural India exists, urban India exists. And it's a lot of contrast for our Western brains to understand that these two things exist together.
In the same country. You're going to be asked to cook all the time. Like, you're probably just going to be stuck in the kitchen and not being able to work.
One of the great things about India is that you can hire people. So if you care a lot about having fresh food every day, and who wouldn't, because Indian food is amazing, there are a lot of people who are a heck of a lot better at cooking Indian food than me, so I would rather just pay them to do it.
Oh, India is so exotic. Are you gonna like go to Rishikesh and just like do yoga every day?
India is exotic in a lot of ways, and India is also extremely modern and traditional. Being modern and traditional are not diametrically opposed. You can be both. So you can be an IT professional and then on your holiday, go to Rishikesh for a yoga retreat. This doesn't mean you're, some backward jungle living human or whatever. These two things can exist at the same time.
The harmonious coexistence of spirituality, modernity, science, religion. There's like a really beautiful synthesis of opposites, or supposed opposites, that India exemplifies. And hopefully, like, through our relationships as well, we can find harmonious coexistence and in celebration of our differences, as opposed to a rejection or erasure of those differences.
Very well said.
Thank you. So on that note, Jessica, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Chandra. I really enjoyed talking to you. You're, again, wise beyond your years.
Oh, thank you.
I love having these conversations, and you ask such good, nuanced questions.
Thank you. And it's these conversations that are really enlightening to those of us in the audience who want to get married and who want to build a marriage. I'll go ahead and sign off at this time. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Love Handle. If you enjoyed this video, do be sure to hit subscribe, share it with your friends, like the video, and leave in the comments below what you'd like us to ask Jessica next time she comes on. Bye!